Our heroes have reached the city of Magnimar after a perilous journey where Vanarel perished to a band of marauding sea devils. The party pooled their resources and called in some assistance from the Pathfinder Society to conduct a reincarnation ritual, which saw Vanarel return to life, albeit a bit different than before. Following that development, the party started to explore their worries about the Horn of Rust to the venture captain Sheila Heidmarch, and heard that rumors about the horn are already circulating here on the mainland. She proposed setting a small trap with a fake horn to see who is behind these rumors. The next morning, while discussing their plans, an explosion rocks the grounds of the manor, with one of the outbuildings, an alchemical lab, going up in flames. The party has been asked to investigate the situation. Let's hear their current thoughts before resuming the investigation.
Okay, so after talking with the kids, I think I have an idea of how they fit into this, but I don't think they're the masterminds of anything. I think they were egged on by a person that they trust in the staff to play a practical joke that probably went a little too far for them. Or heck, maybe this is what they meant to bully the other student. I think that staff member probably is the one who wanted to use them as like a smoke screen to come in and steal the horn.
That sounds like I I agree. I think that's probably what happened. I think we're at the point where we should at least let, Sheila know that what's going on with the apprentices. I might stop to chat with her and let her know that it seems like 2 of the apprentices were put up to this potentially, though we haven't figured out by who. It might make sense to, I don't know, maybe see if we can get them to cooperate so they don't get punished as much.
They weren't after the horn, but they did still destroy a building that had a lot of really important things in it.
Also
Punishment.
tried to paint their classmate as the one who caused the issue. That can't be allowed to just pass.
Yeah, I think they did that really poorly considering what they did was blow up that classmate's, like, favorite, they did like to taxidermy birds, which is kind of strange, but, like, still kind of a cute trait, but, yeah, they took this student's favorite one and packed it with explosives. Seems not like a really good idea to, like, do that if you wanna frame them.
Daegron, I don't know how good you are. I mean, you look scary, but can you act scary to maybe scare some info out of them?
A bit. He is trained in intimidation.
Well, as long as you're not asking me to scare anyone.
So, where would you
Alright,
all like to go in this next round of investigations? Who are you talking to? You've compared some notes. What's your next step?
I think I wanna start talking to the staff. We talked to Eki, but I'd like to talk to, Ibrilis, the long-term
Okay,
lawyer
I'll
person.
move you to the front gate. That's where he stands guard. Everyone else, where do you want to go?
Desi will kind of try to talk to Sheila just to let them know about the apprentices and see if we might be grilling them and they won't. Desi wants to make sure that's okay.
Okay, I've moved you into her study. Venerel and Daegron, what would you like to be doing?
I talked with Eki earlier, and I didn't get any kind of suspicion off of her. In fact, she seems kind of used to the whole idea of, oh, the goblin is untrustworthy. There's still a lot of that out there in the world, but she's not the reason for that. I don't think that pursuing Eki any further a worthwhile path. If we're gonna keep going with the staff, there's Helvi and Wumbrout. I'll go speak with the cook.
I think Dagron would just, for now, tag along with Dezi as he is not sure what leads I think to necessarily follow in that regard. He likes to follow more physical things. He wanted to make sure they're aware of the path in and out that he found that the person took here. So he'll go with Desi and kind of point that out and explain that one to Sheila too.
Okay, we will start with Libbiel talking to Eberus. So,
Hello, Everett.
hello. This has been quite
Uh,
the morning.
Yes,
I
they have.
assure you, this does not usually happen here. This is normally a very quiet lodge. I would hate for this to be your first impression of our hospitality.
My first impression has already been good, so don't worry about that. I do have some questions because I've been asked to look into this matter, and I'm just asking people around what they saw and kind of what their takes on everything.
Sure.
Do you mind if I ask you some? Again, this is not me saying you did it or anything. That's well beyond my tasks here. You're the long-term servant of this house, right? Very,
Long
very long.
long-term servant, mostly working as gate guard these days, but I've been
Okay.
with the Heidmarks for many years.
And your opinion on this recent batch of novices, perhaps?
Um, I'll be honest, I don't work with them too much. I do know that all of them tend to sneak out, maybe a little more than I'd like, but kids will be kids. Ingrid and Tegima typically late at night, and Eki tends to be out early in the mornings. Sorry, not Eki, Tiki.
Tiki.
And
Well,
they probably shouldn't be, but I've always told Sheila, and as long as they're not getting in trouble and as long as we know that they're out of the complex, we're kind of looking the other way. We know this is just part of being a kid.
do you have any ideas of where Ingrid and Ta Ta Takima go at night?
We haven't followed any of them. They do smell of alcohol when they come back though. Not drunk, but they have been drinking.
Have you noticed any uh, internal strife between the novices or maybe like them and some of the staff, perhaps?
Not until, the events of this morning, which I was here at the gatehouse, heard the screaming by Tagima and Ingrid, running outside and saying they saw their fellow novice Tiki fleeing Urethra House right as it exploded. It didn't quite feel right to me that what they were saying because I didn't see Tiki, and I think I would have given how recent the shouts were. But at the same time, I have no reason not to trust what they're saying. If it had been an explosion almost anywhere else, we probably would have seen if the two of them could deal with it as part of a training impromptu training session. But fire in an alchemist lab can go bad fast, so I yelled for help and joined in the fight right away.
So that clears up my what was going to be my next question about like where you were at the time of the explosion.
At the gate
I
here, I've said I heard the noise, heard the screaming, turned around, saw the fire.
yeah, I think we probably saw him in the bucket chain and
Oh yes,
everything.
he was there hauling buckets.
Do you know if the novices have any special attachments to any of the staff? Like, do they have ones that they talk to most of the time?
Well, Tiki does seem to gravitate toward Eki.
Mhm.
Not directly as a mentor, but I think just maybe homesick sometimes and wants to see another goblin. Eki is obviously much more of a guard and a warrior, and Tiki is a little head in the clouds, academic, alchemist, loves all things that fly.
Yeah.
Ingrid and Tagima, no. They have latched on to a couple of agents who have passed through for, on their missions. Both, whenever someone is either a wizard or a warrior. They each have one that they will kind of latch on to for a couple days while they're here. Normally, on those visits, they actually skip their evening escapades. It feels like maybe when they're that inspired by new things around the lodge, they don't seem the need to go out.
Were they out last night? Would you have known that?
I don't recall. Your arrival put us all into a little bit of an uproar. Having to help with your friend, who I'm glad is doing better now. But that threw off all of our normal routines, and I was not at the guardhouse as much as I normally would have been at night, so I did not see if anyone snuck out.
Okay. And this is kind of out of left field, but it is kind of an interest area for me. Do you know if anyone here has had any special, like, interest in the horn?
The
Like,
horn?
anyone. Yeah,
What
because,
horn? I
like.
haven't heard of any horn.
Really? Huh. Well, the we brought a horn with us, put it up in a room, and just wondering if anyone has been asking about it. That's just more of like an interest to me because like it's our object, that kind of
Oh,
thing.
no, that's the first I've heard of it. Uh,
Okay.
and yeah, you can give me a perception check for if there's anything else to read from his personality.
Yeah. No, he seems pretty straightforward so far.
The one other thing you get is, especially at the beginning when you're kind of giving your, this is not me accusing you, this is just me asking questions. You saw a little bit of a smile on his face. Maybe he's been the like role play partner for a lot of the agents when they're training them on how to do investigations, and he can tell what you're doing, but you don't think there's anything nefarious about that. Just he was a little bit of a, oh yes, another junior investigator type of feeling going across.
Oh, so it's more like pleasant memories more than like.
That's probably how you'd see this.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I think this is basically all the questions I needed to ask. Anything you want to mention before I go? Do you know if like anyone is missing from that?
No one is missing that I've heard of. We are at our lowest staffing point in quite some time. Recent batch of agents off on missions, only the three novices here being trained. We're a little underprovisioned or overstaffed, as the case may be. I'm not sure which, but no one's missing. And I was a little surprised that to hear that Sheila and Kenevin went to the outsiders for this. But I guess if there's some suspicion that things are not on the up and up here, I'm not surprised. They make good judgments of people. So if they trust you, I will trust you all.
I think this might also be a bit of a test. I think I'm gonna go question some more people. Bother them for a while.
So
Thank you for your time.
he nods and gets back to kind of just watching the street in front, with that kind of slightly not vacant eyes, but not staring, just kind of the eyes that are taking in everything around without really feeling like he's staring at anything, as if he can just stand here for hours. And next, let's go to Vanarel in the kitchen. In the kitchen, so you're trying to find Helvi. Helvi is, in there. She's cleaning up from breakfast. When you first walk in, it takes a bit of time before she notices you.
Oh, okay. I'll wait patiently. If she's got things to do, I'll let her do that first.
Eventually, she does see you and kind of starts, um, and then stares, kind of cocking her head.
Hello. I'm Vanarel. I don't suppose you have a couple minutes just to talk about what happened this morning?
She is very much staring at your mouth as that's going on, and eventually nods.
Oh, well, thanks. I was just wondering if, like, what you were doing when the explosion happened. Were you in here preparing breakfast, or were you outside?
Removing dishes, bringing back to wash, and her voice is a little mumbled. It's a little awkward.
Okay, language barrier sort of thing.
Some
That's how Venerable will perceive it anyway. I think.
Yeah, I mean, you've probably encountered this before. You think she may be deaf, and that's why she's staring and lip reading off of what you're saying. She probably didn't hear you walk in and was surprised when she finally saw you in the kitchen. And the voice just is the type that's like she's never heard herself speak, so she's able to speak. She's not mute. The voice is just a little awkward here and there. Not You can understand her, but you can tell this is
Sure.
not her normal way of communicating. You actually saw yesterday when you arrived, like Sheila was giving some hand signals, and at the time, maybe the party just thought they were trying to avoid talking in front of the guest or something. But you're guessing that Sheila can communicate via sign language with her.
That makes sense. Is there anything around that I might be able to write with? I'm not gonna like grab it right now, but just is there something nearby or handy, like just a
N-
will and
Not in
paper
the
or something like
kitchen,
that?
no. You probably could find that back in Sheila's study if you asked.
Okay. I'm not going to right now. Actually, so she said she was just gathering up the dishes and such.
Yes, cleaning
Did I
up
read?
after breakfast.
Okay. Okay. Had you seen anything out of the ordinary?
Give me a diplomacy or a society check. You can tell she's just a little frustrated at being interrupted here at busy time in the morning, cleaning up, getting from breakfast, getting ready for lunch. You can tell she's kind of brushing you off. I need to start the roast for lunch. Nothing unusual.
I'm just going to take that hint. I've caught her at a bad time, and maybe I think Vanarel might be having just a little bit of like internal like double thinking or overthinking what he might want to say next. So I'll thank her for the time, and we'll just see myself out.
Okay, we'll jump over to Dezi and Daegron, who are currently in Sheila's study talking to Sheila. So yeah, you're here. Let me also show Sheila's artwork while we're here. So she's sitting behind her desk, probably no wine yet in the day, despite her picture always showing wine. She looks up at you and, how goes the investigation?
So we've uncovered a couple of things. Um, so it seems as if two of the apprentices were working together to set off the explosion. They tried to blame the third. They tried to blame Tiki for it, but we're pretty sure it was Ingrid and Takima. Their responses seemed a little rehearsed, and we also wanted to check and make sure, like, is it okay to maybe push into them a little bit and try to get some more information out of them, threaten that they might be in trouble.
So besides their stories sounding rehearsed, what types of evidence have you found?
Well, we know that Tiki was out of the area. She was out looking at birds at a faraway location, and so she couldn't have done what they say she did. The only real evidence we found, Dagron, did you want to tell him about the escape route?
Yes, and he points out the. I believe it was Desi had originally pointed out where the rune on the wall had been. Was it deactivated, or was it had used a
Deactivated.
rune where the defenses had been deactivated? And he points out the window and goes, just follow my finger through the trees here, and he's kind of tracing the path that he took. Someone sufficiently acrobatic could make it through. I made it most of the way. It took me some time. If someone was familiar with the grounds and had practiced, they could easily clear this in under a minute. And he's pointing towards the wall he think they went over. And then he continues on. He says, I don't think Egret or Takima had anything to do with that. They possibly were used as a distraction by someone else. We might need to search their room, see if there's any sort of communications. They were awfully intent on trying to blame Tiki for this when, from everything my friends have found, she was nowhere around.
They also used her favorite vulture as a the explosive tool, which that doesn't make any sense. Why would Tiki use her favorite vulture? And we found a piece of silk at the end, an
Yeah, he
explosive
pulls out
tool.
that
Not,
gold and blue silk.
not sure who it might belong to.
That that doesn't match anyone here on the manor. No one wears clothes in those colors or of silk. Hmm. It does seem something is suspicious going on. I would like you to have a couple things more concrete before we try pressuring anyone. It is possible there is another force, maybe someone even disguised as Tiki trying to cause this rift in our novices.
Might it be okay to search the quarters of
Yes,
theirs?
yes. Please don't take anything, but you can definitely search their rooms. They are all out and about helping with the cleanup, so they won't be interfering with you if you want to look through their rooms.
Sounds good. Do we want to wait for Libby and Vanarel for that? If we find anything of import,
Yeah,
we'll make sure to bring it over.
we should touch base at least.
Very good. So yep, I'll put you all back just in a place where you can be chatting together.
I was going to report that I just didn't get much from Ilbris. He was very pleasant. He didn't have anything pertaining to any of those.
We talked to Sheila, and she didn't seem to think the fabric came from anybody here. which means it's probably somebody on the outside. I don't know how they would have met somebody on the outside, but
Well, we could always check their rooms, see if there's anything there.
One thing of note, the novices do go out to go drink a lot, but supposedly they didn't seem to do it last night. At the very least, it didn't smell like alcohol.
well, maybe yeah, we did get permission to search their rooms, so maybe that's and Sheila said they wouldn't be there. I guess once it gets to night, we could see maybe where they go, if they do go out.
Well, I probably have one more interview to do before anything. Everyone who's wanting to do the physical investigation can go for the rooms, and I'll just knock out that last interview.
It works with me.
Okay, where's everyone
Yeah, sure.
going?
I'm gonna talk to Wumbrot.
Okay.
I'll head to the room since that's
Yep.
probably our best.
I as we're walking that way, I think Daegron would say too. He goes, "We know that that vulture was taken from her room, or at least we think it was. If we can't find anything sorts in Tiki's room, we should at least see if there's evidence of someone breaking in."
Oh, that's a good point. We can check out their rooms too. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Tiki's room as well. I was
Yeah,
assuming we were going to start. Looking in Ingrid's room first.
So I will start with
Ingrid's.
it
Libbiel
seems the most interesting.
with Rumbrat, and we'll go to the
Yeah.
trio. I think Vanarel, were you going with them to the rooms, or what were you doing?
Yes. I think Vanarel would have gone with Dezi and Daegron
Okay.
just because speaking with other people is he's encountering some speed bumps that he's unfamiliar with what the source is, whether it's them or him in his new body. So
Okay, so Libbiel, you find the dwarven custodian, Wumbrat, over by the exploded building, starting to clean it up, starting to figure out what needs to be done to repair it. You know, the fire is out. He's probably getting all the glass shoveled away somewhere, making a note of what needs to be repaired. Looks up as you walk over and, I hear you're helping investigate this. How can I help?
Oh, very well informed. Well, I'm doing the interview portion. I've knocked everyone else out, but you seemed really busy, so I wanted to save you for last. I wanted to make sure, at the very least, talk to you for a minute.
Please ask your questions. Sooner asked, sooner answered. I can get back to work. He doesn't seem
Okay,
rude or but he seems like he just doesn't care for the more politeness talking. Just wants to get to the questions.
let's start with the novices because they seem to have had some kind of role in this. What is your opinion of the various novices we have on hand?
Ah, they all seem to be quite talented students. Ingrid's a gifted wizard who's been helping for some recent projects around here. Tagima's an excelled in combat and enjoys working with the horses whenever we have some around. Tiki is always a diligent student. However, I do need to keep kicking her out of the alchemist lab after hours.
So her extracurricular activities with the Alchemist Lab are a noted thing, guessing?
Yes,
Do you know what she's looking at in there?
I don't know. You would have to ask probably Sheila or Kenevan about that. My impression is she is too curious about everything and is probably going off her curriculum. It's probably still safe, but you never know with alchemy, and we'd prefer someone be monitoring and overseeing the lab when it's in use with some of the more recent novices. I don't she's never hiding anything when I have to kick her out. It just seems like she's lost track of time and suddenly it's 3 hours after dinner and she missed dinner.
Ah, I see. You probably know that we discovered Tiki's bird on the location. Seems like someone packed it with explosives and blew it up. Does that seem in character for Tiki?
Mm, she loves those birds. I don't think she'd blow one up. She has half a dozen or so in her room. I don't
Yeah,
think she'd blow one up.
I also thought that was kind of really odd, especially since apparently that was her favorite one.
Oh, that is too bad.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe to get that fixed. Anyways, more on the actual crime scene. Uh, did you see anything out of place or anything else amiss?
Out of
I
place?
know that.
I mean, the whole building's in shambles, so it's all kind of out of place. Uh,
Yeah, I know.
nothing suspicious, or at least, but I'm not as well trained in such things.
I was hoping with your familiarity, you might have seen something.
Maybe
Um,
if the fire had been put out immediately and we hadn't had to splash water all over the place and we hadn't stepped around all that putting out the fire, maybe. But this was a tough fire. It took a lot of work to put out, and yes, I think anything I might have noticed has been destroyed by that.
That's understandable.
And you can give me a
And,
diplomacy or a society check just to see if there's anything else he might remember to tell you about or that you noticed from what he's talking.
society anyways is higher.
Yep,
Ugh,
nothing else from what he said. So he
I should
nods
have
and
rolled
gets
better.
back to work, trying to figure out which craftsman to call first for repairs or hauling away refuse or just trying to sequence all the work here. It's going to be a
Oh,
while to repair this.
one last thing before I leave. Where exactly were you during the initial blast?
I was off getting supplies for the garden on the far side of the grounds. He'll uh, basically say, kind of, this tree at the far back here is maybe a compost pile. He was dropping some of the remnants from the breakfast in and just getting planned for the day.
Okay. Thank you for your time. I'll let you get back to work, and I hope I can come back to help. Ugh, this looks like a mess.
And so now over to the three of you. We can probably do all three rooms. Either you can do them together as a group or one at a time. So I think I heard you wanted to start off in Ingrid's room, is what I heard, right?
Seems the most.
Sure, yeah.
So it is a pretty obvious wizard's dorm room. You see books lie open on the floor, on the bed, all over the small desks. You see a pile of laundry emerging from under the bed. At least that's what you immediately see.
Like to look around primarily for any sort of communication she might have had. I mean, if she's a wizard and likes passing through wizards, perhaps she was trying to meet, or they were trying to meet up with somebody that was.
Yeah, give me a perception check for investigating the room in more details. You you're a little overwhelmed just by the mess in here and not seeing anything in particular.
Oh, it's very messy. Ooh. Daniel, are you finding anything? I say as I'm kind of picking my way amongst dirty clothes on the floor.
Vanarel has one of the opened books, like, in each hand, just trying to glance over each one. Don't really know. I think some of this is magic.
I mean, you can also give me a perception check, both Vanarel and
Yeah.
Daegron. Daegron, you find a couple of vulture feathers on the floor, mixed in with some of the dirty clothes, along with all kinds of what looks like very chemically smelling reagent bottles mixed in with like shampoos and other personal hygiene items.
I'll take a look at them. I don't know if quick ID matters here, but to try to figure out if they might have been used for this, basically.
You can give me a
Sure.
crafting, I guess, on that. And Daegron, for the books you were comparing, as you're flipping through them, inside one of them, you do find a piece of paper that has sketches of all kinds of horns. None that match the horn you were asking about or the one that was on display, but that does seem a little odd to you. It's like 12 to 13 different sketches of fanciful depictions of demon horns.
Yeah. I think during all this, as he finds this, he holds up like the feathers for Dezi. And as Desi's kind of like looking through and seeing if he can identify these, what was used here, he's flipping through back and forth and he pulls that out and holds it up to show Vanarel. And he's like, huh, seems kind of like we might have found our culprit here. No one
Does
else here
he?
knows.
I was just gonna say, how many demon horns are there that are out there? Like, that's several different drawings of different horns. None of them are the one that we have. Is this part of a whole collection?
They may not know what the horn looks like exactly. It's been apparently lost for quite some time.
Or they found a collector of horns and somehow discovered we had one coming here. Do I know anything about the reagents? Or
You don't. I mean, they are sharp smelling, but whether or not these are the accelerants you were smelling elsewhere, you can't tell.
does the feather match the one on the bird that I have in my pack?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah. I still want to search the other two rooms, but this seems like good evidence that at least they were involved in this.
So looking over into Tagima's room, this room is covered. Almost every wall has a drawing of a horse, different horses. Each one's different. It's not like the same horse over and over, taped up to the walls, tacked up to the walls. Some of them look like they're on a racetrack. Some of them look like they're just out in fields. The racetrack might show up a couple more times. That might seem a little more common than the other backgrounds, but there's just horses everywhere. There's also a large supply of makeup on the desk, a crafting repair kit next to the bed, a weapon rack that has maybe a couple too many weapons for what non-Daegron, non-Vanarel would feel comfortable with. So it's only Dezi might be a little surprised by 17 weapons in a weapon rack here.
Seems normal.
I assume we probably like. I know we're not supposed to steal things, but the book is evidence, as is the feather. I would assume.
It's not stealing, Desi. That's evidence.
Okay, I'll start looking around for anything out of the norm here too.
Sure. Give me perception checks.
For one, I'd say they need a larger weapon rack.
This one is a little crowded.
Really. Yeah.
So Vanarel, I think, too busy being distracted by the overly crowded weapon rack, but both Dezi and
Organizing
Daegron, you find a series of marked racing programs from a place called Serpent's Run in one of the drawers that makes you pretty sure she's a gambler of some kind, including a bill indicating a rather large debt to the Mendocil Loans Company. And I can take a
That's
society or underworld lore check on that name.
Can't help you there.
Dezi surprisingly has heard of this, even though, I mean, you're not from here. This is your first visit to Magnimar. Maybe you've heard of this somewhere else along the way, but you have heard that Mendocil Loans is a local moneylender that's rumored to have ties to a gang called the Night Scales, which kind of runs a lot of the organized crime in this city.
So they're in deep with gangs of Magnimar?
Well, I don't know about necessarily being there, them being in deep with them, but they owe them money. And
yeah.
so
And sorry, what was the name of the group that they're affiliated with? The Mendocil Loans.
The Night
Night Scales.
Scales. And having heard that name, you would know that's like the main gang in town. There might be some other ones that are different areas, but this is the strongest one in Magnimar.
So we have one wizard who's interested in demonic horns and a gambler that's in debt to the local crime syndicate.
Seems like motivation for both of them potentially.
Well, I still would like to check Tiki's room. I'd like to see if there's, as I think, especially after we found these feathers, signs of someone breaking in.
Okay. So you're checking the third room here.
Yep.
This room is a little freaky as you walk into it. You see 6 taxidermied vultures on the shelves kind of staring down at you. Each one is posed doing something, like reading a book, playing with a test tube, shaking hands with one of the ones next to them. Like they're all posed doing human things or goblin things or not doing bird things. They are all staring at you effectively. There is, an empty place. Each one has a name. There's an empty spot with the plaque Hangbeak in front of it.
Oh,
Bizarre, but cute.
I'm gonna
Ah.
look in that area to see if I can find. You feel that like Desi is much more comfortable here than he was in Ingrid's room. I think the mess was just bothering him.
Yeah, and Dagron's gonna check the latches, the door, the window. He's gonna go around and just specifically be looking to see if there's signs of anyone trying to break in here.
Yeah, Vanarel is gonna poke around at the remaining vultures that are still here. I'm starting to think that the Pathfinder Society has very strange recruiting methods. Horses, gambling, and vultures.
Yeah, so Vanderbilt, I think, is just a little too disturbed about what this means for the society as a whole than learning anything in this room. Daegron and Dezi, Daegron, you're not finding any signs of forced entry, of like a picked lock or a broken window. But the doors weren't locked. You didn't need a key to get in
Oh,
here
true.
in the first place. So it'd be hard to say. But at least the windows look like they weren't forced. Dezi, you're looking around. What would you say your focus was?
Kind of around the area where the vulture was stolen to see what's there and if there's anything. Yeah.
You see a lot of sketches of vultures kind of stacked up. Looks like maybe playing with different ideas for how to pose them in different ways, trying to figure out how to taxidermy them in different ways to get the effects she wanted here for the different poses. You see a couple books interspersed with those all about medicine and elixir making.
Does it have anything just I guess, is there any journal of her? Like, would I see anything that indicates she was out there?
No,
Like, I don't know. She okay, fair enough.
nothing to
No excerpts
disprove
from a
or
journal talking
or
about yeah,
corroborate her
okay,
story. No.
fair enough. Maybe it's time to check back in with, Libby?
Yeah,
I'll
I
move you
think
all
we've
back.
got good evidence here. So
Yeah,
maybe
for
she has
sure.
some things that tie things together a bit more.
I'll let Libby know kind of all the information we found. So it seems like the 2 of them have motives. One of them's certainly interested in demon horns. I know, Sheila said they meet up with people outside, and they have seem to have some tie, or at least Tagima has some tie to this gambling place. I guess we could check it out as well, maybe?
Yeah, that might be a good idea. I didn't really get much from the groundskeeper. He's a really busy man, and the only thing is he was not anywhere near the explosion, and therefore I don't think anyone saw him. He was supposedly composting, which sounds really like what he'd be doing. He's very work-minded. Is there anyone I should, like, come back to? Did anyone feel like they didn't get a good interview out of someone?
I don't know about not a good interview, but we might have more to press these student or these recruits on. We have, and he starts pulling out the feathers and the various pieces of evidence they confiscated from the room, Ingrid's room specifically, and say, well, it looks like they maybe created the bomb there. We don't know why or who put them up to this. We know they may be in with the night scales. Was it Desi?
Yes, the night scales. Yeah, maybe we talk to Sheila first. She seemed hesitant to. I think this is sufficient evidence as well, but I'd like to have her permission first.
That seems like a good idea.
In fact, talking to them in her office might convey the levity if she's willing to.
So you're wanting to head to Sheila's office and have her summon who?
I mean, I
Um,
think it's Ingrid and Takima.
Yes.
That seems right.
You run over a couple of the details with her in advance, and she does nod to say, "This sounds like we need to question them directly." She calls the 2 of them in and says, our guests here have been investigating the events of this morning, and they wished to question you. Again, I know they've talked to you before. I wanted to be here just to make sure everything is done appropriately. And
Libby, do you want to handle the questioning portion, given you being slightly nice about this is better than the Daegron approach, but up to
Yeah, I think like as you're initially starting to talk, Libby, Daegron kind of sets the pack down on the table. And as you start talking, he's going to just slowly start pulling out the various pieces of evidence they found and placing them on the table and not saying
okay.
anything about it yet. He'll just let you keep talking.
Okay. So I assume you brought Libby up to speed about everything you found, right?
Yes.
I wanted to talk to you because it's come to my attention that you really dislike your other novice, and it appears that you might have framed them for exploding a building that they cared for a lot, using their favorite taxidermied vulture of all things. That seems very out of character with for her. Honestly, kind of macabre, but it's kind of endearing as well. Display that's in her room. Do you have anything to say for yourselves, or was this completely just motivated by some other cause?
so their eyes have been fixed on behind you, more on what's happening with Daegron taking the items out of the backpack even as you're talking, and you can see their face getting paler and paler as you're talking to them. The 2 of them just start sobbing and apologizing to you, to Sheila, to Tiki, who's not here, to each other, to the world. It sounds like we're so sorry. We gambling debts, and Krosovan said he would clear the debt if we just helped him get that horn that appeared here in town. Uh, and we didn't know how to. He told us if we made it an event happen this morning, he could get in and get the horn and get out. We wanted to do just make the horses run amok in the stable or something, but he wanted something more violent than that. We knew it was wrong, but so much money, so much money.
Okay, so it was the gambling debt.
Who
I
who's
understand how desperate.
Krosova?
He's I think he leads a small gang known as the Two Timers. They want to join the Night Scales, but they haven't yet. I think he wanted to prove himself with a big score, and I think stealing from the Pathfinders is part of that prestige.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, he's probably dead now. But okay.
Uh,
Um,
he wanted to meet up with us later today at a bar known as the Old Fang. He said he'd clear our debts there.
I guess
oh,
we should probably go there, huh?
yeah.
Sheila, I think this is your issues. You can decide how to deal with these 2.
We Desi, we may be prudent to use if they created this mess. Well, maybe they come along. We don't know this. What was his name? Crosophan?
I would rather not endanger these 2 by introducing them to a person who we're immediately going to jump. I could
Also
probably do, a disguise as one of them.
I
also
mean, I know we found out he's a criminal, but we can't just assault the man in a tavern.
Yes, that's why I was going to disguise as one of these 2 novices.
No, no, that's a good idea. Would save them from some danger.
Yes.
agreed, and I'm not sure bringing them, he points to the 2 sobbing apprentices. I don't know how well they'd hold up in this given situation, Daegron.
Yeah, I think I could lie about it than them.
Sheila stares at them for a bit. We'll handle you two later. For now, you have a lab to clean. And she basically sends them out with Wumbrat to do all the heavy labor of cleaning up their bad choices from the morning. And Kane then heads out following them to keep an eye on them. Sheila
So
then turns to you and says, Before you go, can you describe this Krosavan? Have you met him?" And Ingrid does provide a description. A very tall, thin man, dark, oily hair. He's got some obsession with New Thassalon. He has a tattered flag tied around his arm at all times. I think it's hard to say. I think he's probably Aslanti. He doesn't quite look Varisian.
interest. Before we go meet this person who has an interest in our horn, I'm going to wait until after the novices leave. Can I leave the actual horn with you in somewhere probably extremely safe this time? Because I'm not taking it anywhere near them.
She's thinking for a moment. They got into my study. That is just there's only one safer place. Well, maybe two. One would be on my person. The other, we haven't talked about how we'd get you across the world in a short time, but I would be a little worried about just leaving this item near that.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend holding it either. It's ooh, kind of a thing, even with the holy symbol helping with the worst of it.
Libby, I'd prefer to keep it on us. I know it's a little dangerous, but given what it can do, I might be safer
Okay,
on
I
us.
I will continue to hold it then. Uh,
as long as we don't broadcast it to others. I
I'm
think
yeah,
assuming
that's
you're
the
well,
not
best
keeping it
way.
out in the open, like it's in a pack
uh,
somewhere. So.
it's in our pack, but we don't have the disguise spell. I'd like to head on it, and there is no way to like suppress like its sinister aura. I'm sure.
Just let people know we're also an hour in. I just gave a hero point to Dezi. We've already had viewer hero points as well to, I believe, Libby and Vanarel. Everyone's currently at 2 or 3 hero points respectively, so
Well, now's the perfect time to go find some, I guess.
Let's go. Libby, did you want to do the disguise? I'm not sure if it's
Yeah, is that a performance check,
deception.
or to see if I can disguise pretty well as?
Your party members can tell that it would probably hold up from maybe a 20 to 30 foot distance, but won't hold up closer than that.
maybe we just put you in a corner and wait till somebody approaches you, and we'll sit somewhere
Maybe
else.
maybe it's dark. Yeah, sorry, not my best work.
And so you head out toward the Old Fang. It's in a working class neighborhood called Dockway. It's probably about a 40-minute walk from Heidmarch's Manor to get there. And it's probably just getting just after lunch now. You have heard that the Old Fang was once one of the most popular tap rooms in the area, but the founder passed away a couple of years back and it's fallen into disrepair. No one currently actually runs it as a business. As you get close, you can see water is lapping against the walls of this landmark. A weathered sign depicting the open maw of a swamp barracuda marks the now abandoned Old Fang Tavern. Barnacles cover the former tap room below the waterline, while peeling white paint graces the exterior above.
I assume what we do is have the 3 boys, enter first, and then Libby comes in, like, a few minutes later.
It's a closed place, then the skies doesn't actually matter if it's not an open.
All right, so we'll check the place out.
So, yes, you've arrived here from the east. You see that there is a front door along the street, a little bit ahead of you to the west. You see there's also a dock or a wharf going around the building as well.
Do we want to check this side? Just see if the front door is open and safe?
It's probably not
Go right
safe.
in.
It's likely open. I'm gonna sit on this crate and wait a few minutes, let you guys get settled.
Yeah,
And
Daegron
let
goes
me
right towards the
also
front door.
ask everyone's exploration mode activity. I'll just confirm. Last time we had defend for Daegron, we have scout for Vanarel, we had research of some kind for Libbiel, and Dezi did not have one listed.
I'd be searching it.
Yeah, as long as defend is what he's going to use if this seems hostile when he goes in, as in it's not just a business running, but if it's a business, he'll be switching his to search because he's not going to have his weapon out or anything like that.
Yeah, I assume Libby probably pulls out a book,
Okay.
likely borrowed from the manor.
So, Dezi, give me a perception check as you approach this front door. Looks like a normal front door to you. You
I'll lead
actually
us in.
do see boarded shut front doors. You do see it's there are nails hammered in, boards across it. This does not look like a way you normally get into the door.
Maybe we go around the other side if it's not open.
Well, I wouldn't want to rip it apart to start. Let's go take a look.
All right.
Oh, back already, boys?
You want to
I'm
come
boarded
yet?
up on that side.
Yeah.
No, reminder, I
Front
am
door
in
to no-go.
disguise.
Give me another perception check here, Dezi.
How's this door in?
You see a rune on this door that makes you think it is trapped in some manner.
A magical rune, I'm guessing?
A magical rune, yes. You're pretty sure if you touch the latch, it will shock you.
I'm gonna go talk to Libby real quick. I'm sorry. I mean, Ingrid. I'm gonna go talk to Ingrid.
The boss.
Hey, Ingrid. We're trying to get in, but the door over there has some sort of trap. It's a
It takes
magical trap.
Takes Libby a minute to realize. Oh, yeah, that's me.
Is this door also boarded up or no?
This door is not boarded up. This one just has the rune on it instead, it seems.
All right, I am going to, I assume, Arcana at this.
You could thievery to try to scratch out the rune without triggering it. You could dispel magic. You can also try, as you said, with Arcana. You know that's probably the hardest of these approaches, but you can try that.
Oh, okay. I definitely have to spell magic. Oh, I did get something new from my Patreon.
Okay, roll the counteract
Uh,
check.
I get to see this one, yeah.
Yes, you get to see this one. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that is gone. you have disarmed that. That was a critical success. So
Nice.
a regular success would have gotten a rank 3 or less. This was a rank 3 hazard. Critical success gets up to rank 5. So this could have been a much worse trap, and you still would have succeeded.
I have to call you so many names, it gets confusing. So, if he trapped the door like that, I can't imagine he had good things planned for Ingrid.
Well, I guess I'm going in.
Okay,
Well, don't. Okay.
I'm pausing it. We are rolling initiative.
It's me, Ingrid. And then, just a bunch of crossbow bolts towards the door.
So go ahead. You should all be toggled in. Go ahead and roll.
Yeah, Libby opens the door. It's like, I understand. I die now.
You see two individuals, both
Oh no.
not quite the pictures I have here, but I thought they were cool artwork, so I'm using them.
That works.
One looks like this. Doesn't have the scimitar, has a boarding pike against one of the walls. And the other artwork, which I just think is amazing, but again, also has a boarding pike, not a trident. There we go.
Ooh,
Oh.
I really
Ooh.
like that one. Almost like sea elf, possibly Aslanti.
You do notice gills on both of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Aslanti do not have gills. Well, maybe you know that, maybe you don't.
I don't think Daegron would even have any clue. Well, they live in the water; they'd have gills.
We don't do the weird if you roll a critical fail for initiative, you're actually in a surprise round.
Nope, nothing
Thing,
like
right?
that. It just means you're
Like,
last. Or maybe it means
thank,
you're
thank
first in the next
goodness.
round if you want to view it that way.
Yes, I'm first for the next round.
Dezi, you are up first. You see ahead of you two what look like surprised enforcers for a gang. They're lounging around here. Obviously, it feels like they were waiting probably for Ingrid and Tagima. Neither of them match the description you were given, but they don't look like they were expecting anyone at this point in time. Maybe they're expecting Ingrid and Tagima this evening, or when they sneak out normally. So it looks like you got here before they were expecting anyone.
Desi looks kind of incredulously at Libby, kind of thinking in his brain, "You are pretty much the squishiest and also carrying the horde. What are you doing?" And will run into the room in front of them. "You're all under arrest for attempting to steal from the Pathfinders." I will cast shield.
And are you doing a intimidate check? Are you doing
Oh
a...
no, I'm just announcing it
Got it.
as a stated fact. And I will cast guidance on Daegron.
One of them is up next. He does pick up his pike though, which he didn't have. He will then stride 5. We'll do difficult terrain going over the table, or going through the chairs, I guess. It's not great. He kind of comes around you a little bit. Or maybe he could try to tumble through you. That would actually be more sense. Let me try that. He's going to try to tumble through you. So a 23 against your reflex DC,
Success.
Dezi. So he gets to there, and he then tries to push you with the boarding pike. So a 21 against your fortitude DC.
Regular success.
So he pushes you and he follows. Oh, we both pushed there.
Sorry, I'll stop. You go.
There we go. That was his turn. The other one is up next and picks up the pike. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Doesn't like the options here. He's going to move 5, 10. Moves to there, kind of make a wall. Daegron.
All right.
I'm giving you flank. Look, I'm helping.
So he's going to come striding down into the room and see that, yes, Dezi has given him a perfect flank. So with his first action, he strode there. He will then do a snagging strike on his first hit. Plus 13. Ooh, plus 1 to this for the guidance.
That's a
well,
crit.
It's going to crit anyway. Decent damage.
Remove this man.
Yeah,
and then
that hurt a lot. He's very unhappy about that.
And then he's going to follow through and with his sweeping attack, strike onto the one next go and gets plus 1. Oops, that'll be minus 5 to this. So that'll be a 26 to hit, not a 30.
26 to hit is...
On the southern one.
Is not a crit. It's a regular hit.
Okay, so here's the regular damage.
Okay, that was your 3. They both...
Yep, that's all 3.
The first one looks very visibly shaken, and you think it's be a 2-action ability called Appeal to Surrender. Using Deception, Diplomacy, or Intimidate, you think could be able to get him to stand down. But it is a 2-action thing.
Okay, yep.
Dezi, you definitely notice there is something swimming in the water behind you. It's unable to get to you, but it does seem like maybe they were trying to push you into that hole in the middle of the tavern. It does not get a turn to do anything. Vanarel.
All right. Well, Vanarel's going to get into the area here. Whoa. Ow.
There's a shark in the water. Stay away.
Go Fane,
Right.
just as another thing. at least this one should be off guard as a snagging strike. I was looking in the rules. I don't see anything that says snagging strike can't be hitting. I can't affect 2 targets with it.
I believe you have to have a free hand for snagging
Yep.
strike, and I think it's being used on the one that you are keeping off guard.
Okay.
At
So
least
he'll
that's the
keep
way I would.
anyway, it would have been this one. He would have been keeping off guard.
Yeah, because you did a regular strike against the other one, right? You didn't do a second
Well,
snagging strike.
just my snagging strikes are by kind of like my default.
Got it.
But that's fine. We'll just leave it with that.
Yep.
All right. Well, Vanarel got in this point in the closed-up tavern here. A couple of people here who are pointing weapons at his friends. I will take a real good look at this guy right here, who's in between Dezi and Daegron. Designate him as my new hunted prey, and I'm going to try and make him sit down.
We might want to question one of them. So up.
That's a good call. I will turn the hammers a little sideways so that they don't strike as hard as they normally will. I'll try to knock this one out with non-lethal damage. See if I can actually clock this guy.
That's a miss.
Oh, these hammers are pretty heavy.
You still have a second swing because you hunted prey, right? So
Yes, I did. Yeah, I'm just making sure I have the right negatives in there.
that's a hit this time.
Okay. Still holding back a bit, trying to take him down to knockout rather than right there.
Libbiel.
Libbiel is going to use Appeal to Shadowy Intruders.
Roll deception, intimidate, or diplomacy.
I'm going to hit them with the diplomacy.
Yes, that is a critical success. He throws down the boarding pike and is telling the other one, you gotta surrender too. The other one is still fighting, but you would have bonuses when trying to make the other one surrender once that one is below half. You have one action left, Libbiel.
I'm going to cast Shield on myself.
Round 2, Dezi.
Desi's gonna step away because I do not want to be shoved into this water. I think I'll take a crossbow shot at that one.
Yeah, well, the other one is agreeing to surrender. So, yes, please don't attack that.
That will hit. Narrowly avoided being a crit. You have one action.
I'll up my shield.
The one that's surrendering looks at you and just wants to see, like, are you gesturing him to move anywhere? If not, he'll just sit down on the spot where he is.
Oh, he can. Yeah, that's there. Just stay there.
Okay. The other one, though, will move to here, which is going to provoke from Daegron.
You will swing as they go by.
And miss.
I'm going to hero point it.
Okay. That changed it to a crit.
Lower damage roll on it, so this should be okay.
Yep. Definitely is shaken now, but still has 2 actions remaining, so is going for a shove.
Actually, wouldn't that interrupt?
Does not interrupt movement.
On a
It
crit?
interrupts
Okay.
manipulates.
Oh, that's on reflex. That will just succeed.
Just succeed.
Oof.
Whoops. We'll try we'll try a second one. Let's get you out from underneath. That is a critical. You can try to grab an edge.
Is that with -5?
Yes. It also was a natural 20 as well.
Oh,
But
okay.
it
Yeah,
wasn't-
I'll gladly try to grab it.
Yep. Give me a reflex save. You are hanging there. Your feet are in the water, but you are hanging on that ledge. Daegron.
Daegron, seeing Dezi go spilling over the edge and just sees the hand, is going to yell out and go running over. So you would need to go around, so that will take 2 actions for him to get there. And then he's going to reach a hand down towards Dezi, try to pull him up.
Give me an athletics check. You have a grip on him, but you're not able to get Dezi out of the water.
You know what? Let's just spend him. Second hero point gone.
That will get
23.
Dezi dragged back prone onto the side there. It's the shark's turn, who is very unhappy about the loss of halfling legs that looked like a great meal. It's going to swim over there next to you, froth and swim laps here and bite at the air. But Vanarel.
Okay, I think this person needs to get taken care of. I don't know if this guy who gave up and came to his senses is gonna encounters difficult terrain, but I can still get over to this point by going around him or through him if need be. And I will politely tap on this one's shoulder with my hammer, designate them as my next hunted prey, and then I will tap much, much harder. Still gonna try to take him as unconscious, so I will still be pulling my blows a little bit here.
And you will miss.
Well, all right, that was me.
That was you. Libbiel.
Libbiel's going to do the appeal to surrender one.
Okay. She will stand down, and she will also order the shark to stand down. Apparently, they do have enough control over the shark that they can communicate with it. It is their pet. The shark stops being quite as belligerent, and we are out of combat.
Libby, taking off her bad wig, walks over. Hey, I know this is completely off topic, but uh, what's your what's your pet shark's name?
You want to know the name of our pet?
Yeah, he looks really cute.
We just call him Toothy. I don't know if he has a real
Oh,
name.
hmm, Toothy. I can see why. He has such a good smile.
Very much. He usually eats everyone who comes in here. Why are you
Oh,
here?
oh, right. A friend of ours has a gambling debt, and they're kind of indisposed. We were going to see if we can um negotiate for them. That's kind of why the really bad disguise. I was trying to kind of look like them.
You look nothing like them.
Oh,
But I assume you're here referring to Ingrid and Tagima.
yes.
Yeah, we're looking for Corosivan. He's your boss, right?
Hmm, I guess that's the right term. Just as he and his two-timers are trying to join the Night Scales, we were trying to join his organization. He has not
Oh,
been kind, though, and we were beginning to wonder if it was time to hitch our oars to a different boat.
honestly, there's a lot other means of work out there. I know that a lot of them don't necessarily use your skill set, but I think you could probably do better than some small time crime. Because you're probably going to die.
Krosivan talks big, but he has taken longer to impress the Night Scales than I thought he would. The two-timers, I believe they call themselves that because they come from long ago, but it feels like they are still adjusting to the modern age.
They don't even have a. I mean, you know what two timing someone means, right?
Yes, and everyone laughs at them for picking that name, but they have chosen it themselves. It wasn't imposed on them. Maybe it is truth in advertising.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe.
So yeah, we're just trying to meet up with that guy. Libby snaps her fingers. Name escapes me.
Corosivan.
Yeah, him.
Well,
Uh,
he was
honestly,
never
more
going
interested
to be
in her.
here. He
Oh,
told us to meet them when they came, and
well, do you mind if I ask the plan was like to beat them up and take the horn and give them nothing?
what horn are you talking about? But
Uh,
beat them
that,
up,
that
give them nothing. Uh, he kind of gestures toward the shark.
yeah. See, the two timer name makes a lot of sense now. Okay. The horn was like the whole reason that they were hired to do anything.
Maybe we don't need to explain that to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just let's figure out what they were. You going to meet up with Corosivan later?
Yes, about 2 hours from now, maybe closer to three. It's still daytime. Well, he wanted to have the meeting shortly before dinner, was what he had said, but just a couple alleys away from here. He was going to have us meet. We were supposed to give him proof that we had resolved the situation.
Okay. Well, we're going to make it look like we fed you to the shark. and let you guys get a clean break. Because if Krosavan is the type to kill the minions off like this, you definitely don't want to be in his group.
It would be hard to make it look like our pet ate us, though.
How about if we just tie you up and loosely and disarm you and stuff like that?
I, honestly,
Is there a need for the theatrics?
I
Take their
just want to give
weapons
them,
away they go.
yeah, I just kind of want to give them a clean break from this whole life of crime crap.
We will,
I mean,
if you are letting us go, we will simply jump in the water and swim away with our shark.
That's fine with me. I mean, as long as he can't get to you, that's pretty much what I want to make happen.
So,
again, weapons on the bar before you go. You won't be coming back to help Krosavan.
no, most definitely. Uh, it would be worth our lives to try. So they will drop. They have a boarding pike and a javelin each.
I just more
Yeah.
don't want them having their weapons as they
Okay.
leave.
So
You can just throw them into the party.
yeah, they're just going to jump
Yeah.
into the. They're just going to jump into the water and they swim away with their pet shark.
Yeah,
Looks
I'm
like
not
you-
really
now
like.
let's go.
Yeah, I'm not really here to cast judgment on people's lives. So
I'm here to
sorry if
cast.
I'm.
No, that's okay. But like next time, I'm gonna cast judgment on anyone who tries to throw my friend into a hungry shark pit.
I mean, you looked really hungry.
Understandable.
Aw, thanks, Vanarel. Hey, Libby, maybe don't tell everybody about the hammer. I think we're supposed to keep it a
Horn?
secret. Horn, sorry. Wow, yeah.
Well, from their perspective, what's his name has the horn. Was my idea.
That's true. They did think they stole it.
And so, what are
But
you
from-
doing for the 3 hours before the scheduled meetup?
Let's see. Do I have any spells that are like lay a trap?
I'd like to be there at least an hour before. If we have time to quickly report back, I think that's probably a good idea.
Is there
But,
food and
yeah.
drink in here?
There is no food
Oh,
and
yeah.
drink in here. This place has been boarded up. I mean,
I
there
was
might-
hoping
there
they were
might-
at least using it.
I guess they might have a little bit of some hardtack and some rations that they have, but it's nothing good. And you can tell they were barely squeaking by as thieves, so they did not have a surplus. They're living day to day.
Yeah, like I said, I'm outside of reporting back. I mean, I need to do some shopping, but this is not the time for that. So, actually, we have hours. I might try. Oh, never mind. Nope.
If you needed to do any non-magic item shopping, you can definitely do mundane stuff in this time. There'd be regular corner store type places with any type of adventuring supplies that you think would be used for around dock workers. So ropes, crafting kits, maybe even lock picks. You could find those, I think, in this area of the city pretty easily. But you're not going to be able to find a magic store here. You're not going to find runes. You're not going to find those kind
This
of
is
things
more
here.
before we get whisked far away. Like, this is probably not the time. Like, but we're in a big city. Before you get whisked halfway across the continent, I'd like to, make sure we are ready for that supply wise. But
Understood.
Yeah,
for our
otherwise be good
deliberate
for just hanging
journey.
out.
Okay. So we're going to fast forward a couple hours. And I'm
Can
going to go ahead.
do another disguise check to see if I could spruce up this disguise a little?
Sure.
Just so it's
Deception check.
deception, right?
Are you trying to look like Ingrid, or are you
Yeah.
trying to look like one of those two? Because I don't think their
In-
boss is expecting to see Ingrid.
Yeah, I might try to look like one of those two. Probably the lady, since it'd be easier on Libby.
This time it does feel better. You do a good job with some makeup to make it look like you have the fake gills.
And I hold up the weapon.
The boarding pike that they left behind. So you have a couple of props that might help a little bit. I'm going to put you on a different map now just to have some more scenery here. We'll use this one for now. Around the wharfs and the docks right now. And
Or maybe like this was like Crime Bridge, right?
that's one of the two. It turns out both of these bridges, the small bridge and this giant construction project over here, they're both kind of crime bridges areas in the shadow of these large bridges. You know that this large bridge here is actually the more famous one that used to lead apparently across the ocean, but
So,
it has
like
been destroyed for centuries.
like a small like slum
Yes.
dock over here, then
Yeah,
perhaps.
that's not where we are right now, but that that is a center of crime for the city.
Gotcha.
So 3 hours or so goes by. I know Dezi wanted to be there a little bit early, so maybe about 2.5 hours early. You are heading over to this small, narrow alleyway that you were told to was supposed to be the contact. And go ahead and give me, all of you can give me a survival or a perception check. And do any of you have special sense, like senses like scent or anything else of that nature?
Does your bee?
Bumblebee, yeah,
Dia
has
does. Okay.
scent. Yeah, and
At least some of you. It looks like Dezi, especially. Dezi more of all. Vanarel, I don't know what you're looking at. You were very distracted at this moment in time, though. Not in a way that caused any problems. You
Yeah.
definitely were not seeing what was happening here. Dezi, though, you do see a man matching that description at the far end, kind of up on top of one of the buildings at the other end of the alley, with that, blue and yellow flag wrapped around his arm, staring at you, turns and starts running away.
Well, let's catch him. Say,
And
let's
After him.
go. There's our man.
and so this will be a chase scene. I'll be running it more narratively than strictly rules, but the general idea is each person will get one chance to do something before the next person can try something else. I will narrate little scenes. You tell me what you want to do. We'll roll a die and we'll move on. Typically, as long as whatever you want to do makes some amount of sense, I'm going to allow it. So, up first, as you're chasing after him, you start smelling this aroma of grilled meat everywhere. You hear raucous cheers and trumpet noises. You see a sign up ahead of an enormous bull proclaiming this place the Matador's Lodge. Shrieks erupt from the line of waiting customers as explosions rock the stockyard and cattle stampede out an open gate. Mooing and lowing cattle swarm the streets as terrified pedestrians try to run out of the path. From the other side of the stampede, the thin frame of Krosovan surveys the chaos he just caused and then tips his hat to you and starts running in the opposite direction. How are you getting around a stampede of cattle?
I would like to calm them.
Sure. Give me a nature check. Oh, a calm
No,
spell.
the calm
Yep,
spell.
okay. That is a guaranteed success. Actually, I may even call that 2 successes. So it's getting a little easier to maneuver through here. Of course, he's still running on the far side. You still need to get around all them all, but they might not be pushing and blocking you quite as much.
I think
I think
Daegron will try to bull rush his way through maybe some of the, not the cattle themselves, but if he can make his way towards the sides and push through furniture and anything else to try to make a path for everybody else to get through without having to get right into the middle of it.
Sure. Give me an athletics check for that.
Oh, sure, I calm the stampede and you start stampeding.
Well, I'm going around it.
You call them the cows, not Daegron.
Yeah. Yeah, Daegron, you're definitely making a path that everyone else can start following in a little more easily.
I'm going to hit this with a warp step, giving myself, 5 extra move speed,
Okay.
bringing Libby up to 45.
Yeah, I will. Usually, I would not count cantrips as auto successes on these things, but in this case, for this one, I will. And I'm going to say that lets you effectively get the party through here now. You've had a number of successes. Vanarel's just kind of running behind, didn't even need to help. Daegron forged a nice path. Dezi got enough of them calmed down that it wasn't hard to maneuver around them, and Vanarel can just kind of run to keep up. So we are going to do, Vanarel will get the first try at the next section. So you do catch Krosovan running, you catch a glimpse of Krosovan running through the winding streets of the Low Cleft neighborhood until he nears a group of singing and dancing festival goers coming down the broad expanse of Twilight March, a major thoroughfare in this vibrant neighborhood. The music grows louder and louder. More and more festival goers fill the streets. It's a very mixed crowd. You see elves, gnomes, leshies, a dozen other ancestries. Most people are wearing colorful crowns of multicolored leaves on their head, and street vendors are hawking wares with carts full of delicious leaf-shaped pastries. Not counting as your check for this round, I can take a nature or society check from everyone, just to kind of know what festival you've stumbled into. Vanarel and Libbiel have both heard of this. It is you're coming up to a monument called the Selvian Charge. This was a gift of a seed pod gifted from the elves in the Mirani forest a long time ago. And it blooms in this crazy manner every year. And whenever it does, it kind of causes this festival. And one of these elves is calling out to you as you run by, "Welcome to Leaf Days. As the leaves fall, let the parade begin." Dancers in leafy crowns leap into the streets as drummers drum, and the crowd solidifies around the wide avenue of Twilight March. On the far side of the crowd, clinging to a lamppost, Corosivan waves and makes a rude gesture before dropping down and hustling toward the Keystone neighborhood. So you now have a very thick parade. Dancing, singing. How are you getting through this one? And Vanarel is first.
Yeah, is there a way to circumvent around the thickest of the throngs of people, like with a? I'm thinking like maybe like with a stealth or survival.
I can take a survival to try to find some back alleys. You're a little stymied. You're not used to the city yet. This is your first time here, at least in this neighborhood, and you're getting a little jostled by what's going on. And we are now in round 2.
I'm going to send out Bumblebee to do scouting and keep an eye on the target
Sure.
so we don't lose him.
I would take, let's say, perception for that.
Yeah, perception, and Bia definitely has some movement to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Here you go.
Yeah, Bumblebee, you see Bumblebee fly off, and you then see Bumblebee like start circling the tree instead and like sniffing some of the flowers here.
Oh, Bia.
I guess, seeing as Vanarel couldn't find a way around, I will try the survival to kind of get around this crowd. Also, do these need to be private, or could they be public?
They can be public. None of these need to be secret. Yeah, I mean, you're having a hard time squeezing through the crowd where you are, but you do see an alley off to the side that you're pointing out to the rest of the party that looks like you think it would help get around if the party can get themselves out of here.
Okay, if we're in a little bit of a quagmire of bodies and Dezi has spotted a path, Daegron will push past him and start trying to clear a path through the crowd, just using his big bulk to wedge through. We'll do another athletics here.
Mm-hmm. Unlike the previous crowd with all the calmed cattle, the festive goers here are just packed in, dancing, getting in your way. You're not having much success pushing through them. You keep kind of getting dragged, and someone grabs your arm, tries to make you dance with them. You try to pull yourself away, but you're not making really good progress here. Vanarel.
I guess survival will be the way to go again. I feel like I don't have that many other options to get past, so I'll give that a try.
You feel more confident that once you get to that alley, you will be fine, but you need to get to that alley. We are beginning round 3. Anyone can act.
Okay, I'm getting to that alley seems like we could use some helpful steps over these guys.
Helpful steps. You call forth a
Oh,
ladder.
never mind. It goes straight up. It has to go straight up. I will undo that. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Okay. So is this a religious type festival or no?
This seems less
More
religious than others. This seems like it may have had a religious beginning or more of a nature beginning, but at this point, it is just a civic celebration.
Okay. In that case, I will try a society check to kind of get have the crowd move in such, or the parade move in such, or celebration move in such a way that it's not blocking us. I think.
Okay. You did not make any progress with that.
I will hear him.
Okay. Oh, you make complete progress with that, and you get the whole party through there. So that was just you. And as you go, I can take a reflex save from all of you to catch some of the falling leaves.
Oh, Fane, you used my 20.
Oh, sure, Daegron, you can't push through a crowd, but you can catch
I
leaves.
know.
Yep.
I love these.
So Dezi and Daegron, you both managed to catch a leaf. So here is the loot actor for that. Each leaf acts as a scroll of heroism. You caught 2.
I didn't mean to have that selected.
That's fine. As the parade lets out near the northeastern corner of the Keystone neighborhood, the crowds disperse, and there's no immediate sign of Krosevin. But there is a park ahead, filled with kids from a school group who may have witnessed where he went. And you see like 7 or 8 school kids in blue robes, all playing near a fountain. You see a very impressive statue kind of in the middle of this fountain. Looks very serene, very, very religious. And one of the girls playing in the fountain with a blue blindfold over her eyes dips her fingers in the spring, and her expression abruptly changes. Halt, seekers! I am the spirit of the seer spring. The one you seek is fleeing fast, and soon you will lose his trail. Even now it
Oh.
dissolves like mist. Tell me, are you worthy of my help in finding him?
So I'm going to answer the spirit. Say, yes, we are. We're on a quest to remove just a bit of evil from this world. It might seem small, but every little bit helps. So is that a diplomacy?
Sure.
Or... Okay, and we'll do that blind.
You, all of these can be public
Okay.
during the chase.
Well,
Okay, that's 2 points of credit. She does look like she is getting very close to wanting to trust you all and thinking you are worthy of a gift from the heavens. But what do Daegron and Vanarel have to offer?
I think Daegron will take the diplomacy route also, and as he kind of beseeches them, he says, as my friend Libbiel said, this is great evil that we are trying to deal with in this world. This entity we chase just seeks to perpetrate more. If we could have some help in this, we'd be combating the hells below. I'm sure it would be, in the grand scheme, good for the world. And he'll try to. He's not the greatest diplomacy, but he's got an okay one. So he'll try doing one of those right now. Not great.
You can tell that the other kids here surrounding they're poking each other like, is she playing a game or is this real? And so like you don't know if this person is channeling a truth here or not. And the kids seem like they can't tell, and you don't seem to make any progress. The gnome is kind of staring at you judgingly. Vanarel.
Vanarel will say, look, the things that we're trying to stop and secure here are of a very unnatural order. If they show up in the middle of this city, they are going to cause havoc and chaos. And I'm going to start touching on some of the strangest, like, somewhat demon horn related, but not really, like, not telling them directly about that. But like, there's the strange creatures we had seen, the thing that showed up like last month that may show up again this month. Like, there's real danger and real horrible creatures from other planes here. I'm gonna try to use like occultism to sort
Sure.
of like put a little like spooky scare into them.
I see a castle in the slums of Rag's End. Your prey is headed there. And one of the other kids kind of pulls on your hem and whispers, "She probably means Jijarko Castle, the armpit of the slums. Good luck. You'll need it there."
Thank you for
And
everything.
Thanks.
and you go running off. You don't see Krosevin right now, but you seem like if the seer tells the truth, you at least know where to head. And as you leave the current place, which was one of the better neighborhoods, you're kind of coming back into the slummy areas of Magnimar. And the buildings are sturdy, but definitely getting more and more precarious and at least poorly repaired. And you are getting into a place known as Rag's End, and there's a jumbled collection of shanties and tenements that all the locals call Jijarko Castle. The smell of fish, oysters, and liquor lingers in the air, while household garbage festers and putrefies against the walls of this building. All the children in the street here are very hard-eyed, and the day laborers taking their steps are kind of staring at you as you walk through. You do see a door slam shut a couple ways down the street. You see that brief glimpse of that blue and yellow armband, and you some of the other laborers are laughing and chuckling and he's got himself in trouble yet again. Oh, and look at you, rushing in today. Well, me loves, this is Jijarko Castle, a fortified structures the like of which you've never seen. Now, I'm thinking your cat's off to chase your prey, and we could use all the entertainment, so go ahead. And she opens the door for you that he just went in. And inside, you immediately see a warren of like narrow hallways. You see doors opening every which way. You see portcullises that are open, some closed. It looks like you've kind of stumbled your way into a maze.
Has Bia had enough time with this chase to get this man's scent, or am I not going to be able to use
Oh yeah, no, you can
blood now?
definitely try that again.
Okay, let's attempt that. That one's definitely right.
No, I'll let this one be public.
Okay. Come on, you can do better than
Yeah,
that.
she's
Yeah.
Bumblebee is having trouble. There's so many weird smells here. Like previously she was distracted by the nectar of the beautiful tree, but now it's like protesting all the smells of urine and rotting fish and yeah, not having a good time.
I will try survival to track where this person is.
Mm-hmm. You know you're on the right path, but you can tell there's still more ways to go. You maybe are seeing little bits of that flag still snagging on portcullises as you come through. You've seen a couple of ones that you could tell if you touched that they would have exploded. You do see people up above, like looking down on you from 3 or 4 stories up, that are holding like what looks like chamber pots to drop on you. But you're making progress. And I'm going to give, let's see, we have another hero point to give out. Let me see what the current status is of that. Daegron has none. Everyone else has at least one, so I will give one to Daegron right now.
Yeah.
And Daegron or Vanarel, what are you doing to help navigate through defensive warren structure of tunnels and portcullises and traps?
I think I can use, Daegron's going to use his crafting skills to kind of look at as they're passing through some of these portcullises, just to keep his eye out for traps and other things that might slow them down or hurt them. Roll that. I will immediately use the hero point and not roll much better.
Nope. Yeah, you're. That's actually going to trigger them throwing some stuff at you. So we need a reflex save from just you.
19.
19 is going to be half damage from the chamber pots that they are. Luckily, these are mostly empty, that they are throwing down at you as a form of entertainment. So you're taking half of this. So 4 points of damage. from the
Heavy chamber pots.
from the spectators having fun. I mean, they shattered, and kind of shrapnel was more the problem here.
Okay.
Vanarel.
Vanarel is suddenly very, very inspired to dodge around and past the falling chamber pot, seeing what happened to Daegron. So yeah, we're gonna try to flip like under as much cover as we can, sort of parkour around the worst of it, with an athletic or acrobatics rather.
Sure.
Hey, what was that about hero points? I think I will, as I see one chamber pot descending directly for my face, I will dodge out of the way at the last moment. Hey,
You do not dodge out of the way, so we will need a reflex save from you as well.
well, I avoid the worst of it, we hope. Gee.
You are also taking. You're taking the full amount. You're taking 8 points.
All right, good. I was glad I could keep. I don't want to get the streets all dirty, so I'll just catch as much of that as I can.
Yeah, it looks like now the ones they're holding up above might be heavier and full of more material. Round 5. Who would like to go first?
Material.
Since I mean, I've seen basically Daegron and Vanarel headbutting chamber pots, and Libbiel's bee seems to be smelling them. I guess I think I will try the survival check to navigate, particularly ways and avoid these pots.
You keep on leading the group well through this place. You think you're about halfway through.
Libby is going to try to keep an eye out for the traps this time. But she is also going to hit the two of them with a prestidigitation to get rid of the smell.
And you're helping kind of gesture them around the worst of the traps, and maybe finding ways to just slightly acknowledge the people up above so that they, hold their throw for just a second or two and help the group get a little bit around. You're
No,
almost
you
out of
idiot.
here.
You don't want to catch the chamber pots. You want them to, not throw them at you in the first place. Look cute or something. Gosh.
And Daegron calls back. He's like, I don't do cute, and he's just going to run as fast as he can to try to limit how many chamber pots actually get thrown at him. He is not convinced he can stop them from trying to hit him. He just keeps rolling.
Yep, here's not convinced. They seem to like the moving target. Go ahead and give me your reflex save. Looks like they're thinking this is a challenge now in target practice. You're taking the 7 points there.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try the same thing. I mean, I can't possibly have the exact same thing happen to me twice now, can I? We'll try to
No,
keep
that'd
flipping
be
around with.
silly.
That will
Acrobatics.
get you out of here.
Oh,
As
thank
you
goodness.
you can see, Bia at least is able to direct you toward out one of the side doors. Bia is able to tell now where Krosavan is going, and is leading you through the village. Looks like back closer to the Dockway district, almost where you started. He's weaving his way in and out of a place called the Bazaar of Sales, an ever-changing fruit market, and waving brightly colored flags. And he's heading to the underbridge area now. So, this area here underneath the giant bridge. And you see him duck into a building that has one of these giant footings of this, probably like this one right here. One of these kind of bracing things has a giant harpy carved into it. And there is a small shack next to that is labeled Harpy's Fine Art, by appointment only. But the door is hanging open, and you spot Krosavan ducking inside.
Libby, maybe talk our way in through this.
Oh, okay. I'm going to go in first to see if there's anyone at the door.
What appears to be a
Red does.
room filled with shadowy figures soon reveals itself to be an ornate sculpture gallery filled with whimsical statues, from dancing fauns and nymphs to figures of romantically entwined succubi. Then a pale, six-fingered Nephilim in dust-colored clothes steps out from behind one of the statues and says, "You don't have an appointment. I'll give you 5 minutes to explain why you have charged into my shop."
We're looking for a man who just rushed into here. Goes by the name uh, Corvus
Rosavan.
Rosavan. Yeah, him. Gosh, I do want to come back here later, though. I like that statue. She points to one of the ones nearby. Gosh.
Give me your check for that. Sounds like diplomacy is what you were going for.
Yes.
She kind of humps a little and stares at the rest of you.
Are those statues of Tien making? They're really interesting. You don't see many of those around here. I'm gonna basically try to use crafting to comment on some of the.
And you don't have art lore, just to check.
No art lore.
Okay.
Sorry.
Nope, that's fine. So try and crafting.
Flattery.
Of course it's not Tien made. I made these. I am not from Tien. A hero point, you said?
Here.
Okay, go ahead. That is a success. So she is not angry about being called Tien, even if it's not Tien. She's looking around. You think maybe she's trying to see who else came in here. Daegron or Vanarel?
Yeah, I think with that, Daegron's going to do a quick look around. He knows he saw him come in here. If he can see some sort of evidence of his passage or any sort of ways he may have gone that he can kind of point out.
Okay.
Do a perception check here. 19.
You don't see him. Maybe you're at least ruling out parts of the area that you don't see him in. But it's a big shop filled with lots of hiding places because of all these statues.
All right. Well, Vanarel was also going to attempt to address the store owner here directly. Yes. Hello. We were just going to remove the gentleman with the yellow and blue cloth tied around his arm that so rudely barged in here without having an appointment. We do understand the rules here, of course, and we would not want to offend. Rolling a natural one. Also, screw you. You stink. That statue is garbage. I strike it down with a hammer. No, I will. I think I'll use the hero point to try that again. Oh.
I'm giving you back the hero point just for how awesome that roleplay would have been if it had been the natural one that you were sticking with. So I'll give you back the hero point for that. I'm chuckling from that. So, of course, you can't use it right now to undo. You already
Right.
rolled one, but I'm giving you one back. She doesn't look happy, and she's starting to wonder if you are here to distract from whatever this other person was doing. Next round.
I think Desi's going to try to look for things that the person passing through disturbed, so I can point them out to her and be like, "Look, they came this way. They bumped this thing. We really just want to find them."
You're not seeing anything. I mean, it does seem like this person might be, when he's not mocking you, he seems like he actually is very good at staying undetected.
Maybe your approach is better, Libby.
Libby is going to use the ultimate diplomacy check that she can think of. She pulls out 5 gold and says, "We really just need to find this guy. If you could speed that up." Do you want a diplomacy check?
I'm going to want
anyways?
2 checks from you. I'm going to want a diplomacy check from you. I'm also going to want a perception check from Bia.
Okay, diplomacy and the perception.
Okay, so Bia's still not.
Just re-roll that.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Between those two together, I was going to call that actually 4 successes. I was going to call your diplomacy a critical success because of the bribe and the good roll. And Bia got the natural 20. This one actually did have a decrease the DC for things with scent on the perception check. So you finally got that. You're able to see actually where Krosavan was hiding. But unfortunately, you kind of like tipped off that you saw him. and he knocks over a graceful mermaid statue as he bolts out a side door. The proprietor, indignant at the destruction of her work, sends a lightning bolt after the thief that Krosavan easily evades. And then she turns to you. Those time-traveling thieves are destroying this whole area. But I know where their nest is. And she points you and describes a building called the Swift Dolphin Warehouse.
Time travel? Okay. Um,
So we
thank
are.
you
How many
very much
rounds
for
was
your
that? So
help.
me count this. That's why I was doing one at a time.
And I took the 5 gold out
One,
of my
two,
pocket.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds of the chase is what matters. Okay. So, marked only by the bleached sign of 3 dolphins following a ship, the Swift Dolphin was once one of several dockside warehouses built into Underbridge to capitalize on Magnimar's extensive sea trade before being abandoned. So, you see multiple doors. The one right in front of you is the one that has like the symbol of the 3 dolphins above it.
I mean, definitely going to make sure we're keeping an eye open for traps. We think they're inside here, basically. So
You know, this is like their hangout or their base.
yeah, and then if the door is not safe, I'll be like Daegron, or I don't know if it's locked. Find out.
You don't see any traps.
No traps, Dezi. Well, I'll take a listen. We'll see, and get ready to head in. And Daegron will lean and place his ear against the door, just see if he hears anyone inside.
You hear someone panting, like they have just been running.
And he kind of hears it sounds like it might be our runner. Get ready, and he'll go to like very gingerly test the handle to see if it's locked or not. Try not to give it away.
It does not look locked to you.
Okay, he throws it open.
Okay, we will pause and we get ready for initiative.
Libby, can you please go first for one?
Dezi, so you are up first. All you see from where you are, I believe, yep, you see,
I see one person in there. It looks like right now.
yeah, you see this individual.
That looks like the person we're after. I believe.
Yeah, you can see the blue and
Exactly.
yellow flag on
Oh,
his
yeah.
arm.
Yeah.
Yep. Greasy black hair, kind of pale skinned.
I believe the strategy here is I will walk in, say, "You are under arrest. Please throw down your weapons." Go to there, and I'm going to cast Bless, and that's my full turn.
Up next, someone you don't see, but you hear. Desi probably can hear it. People outside probably don't hear it, but you hear something moving around in the far back corner of the room. You know, the stacks of crates are difficult terrain, but they are blocking sight. I just don't have them set up on Foundry to do so. But you heard
That's
someone.
probably for the best.
You heard
They would have
someone moving
removed.
around this general area here, Desi. But no one else would have heard that or seen that, so you'd have
I
to
will
use
let.
a point out action to share that, and
I'll
your
just
turn
let
just
people
went.
know it's to the north. Like
Yep.
somebody's to the north of the square.
And up next is another thing moving around who is going to. I need a reflex save from Desi as this pile of crates here comes piling on top of you. That's going to be half damage. So you take 7 points of damage as those crates come tumbling down, which also will reveal someone that looks a little bit like this. That was
So dressed in black with weapons out there.
yeah.
What are those in their hands?
That looks like
They
maybe
just like small daggers or something.
might be a dagger, might be a lockpick. It's probably meant to be a lockpick, but they actually are wielding daggers. So the it might be a very I guess they're labeled as cut purses, so that might be a very small knife used to cut a purse literally, but treated as a dagger for mechanic's sake here. So you see that one, and that one is now going to run and get behind another pile of crates. Vanarel is up next.
All right, I'm gonna get myself into the abandoned warehouse.
Yes,
And
I guess the flavor here also, sorry, I skipped that. Crates are piled haphazardly throughout this dilapidated warehouse. A chill wind blows through the cracks in the slats of this eerily silent room, and the endless susurration of waves hitting the docks echo through the wooden floorboards. There are land entrances to the north and west, loading doors to the east over water, and stairs leading up to a mezzanine level in the south.
okay. So I know, as you said, there was another one around here somewhere, but right now the only one that I think I can actually see, well, the crates is the flag armband guy. So I'm going to choose him as my hunted prey. And then I'm going to close in on him. But I'm not going to move all the way in.
Oh, perfect. He's going right after you.
Oh, right.
So you're closing in on him, but not doing anything else. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I'm getting to there. Maybe it's partially tactical, and maybe it's partially the fact that I don't think my legs are as long anymore. I still feel weird about that.
So he is going to sneer at you, and you have come to steal what I rightfully stole. I will finish you off and prove my worth to the night scales. And he is going to move up next to you, and he is going to try to just stab at you with his short sword. He is going to crit you. And he kind of shouts out to all of his allies of, "See, that's how you do it." And apparently they all get a bonus from that. And he's going to move away, which I think is going to trigger from you now.
Sure is. Instincts are going to kick in, and I am going to take a quick swing at him.
That's a regular hit. We didn't go over the level 4 level up, but Vanarel took the Disrupt Prey feat, and that's what's triggering right here.
He takes 6 on his way out.
He does, and he gets, a little bit behind some of the crates there. That was his turn. One of the other ones, you might hear some more motion coming from the north. Daegron.
Okay, as Daegron kind of looks into this room here, I saw that one had pushed boxes over towards Dezi. Do these boxes here look precarious enough that he'd be able to shove them over?
You think you might be able to try, yes. So let's see.
Okay,
These ones have been used.
Okay, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 gets him there for one move. 5, 10, 15, he'll go here, and where he thinks he saw the guy ran, he'll try to shove the boxes here with athletics.
Okay. And you also can see that there is a second one pretty close to you there. So give me the athletics check. That is
19.
a success. So that's going to hit both of them. So let me roll their reflex saves. And you can roll me 2d6 plus 5 for the damage.
Okay.
Let's see. The DC at this level was that. So they both failed, but no critical fails. So they both take 11 damage from that. And let me draw the ones that have been used up. And you also have better vision through there now. That was a double move and a push from you, correct?
Yep, that's all 3.
Libbiel.
Libbiel is not going to enter the warehouse knowing that she actually has the horn. So instead, she's going to cast from outside of it, and she's going to ruin a couple of guys' days, I think.
Okay. Let's see. The double doors are wide enough. You do have line of sight to them now that because Daegron knocked those over, you do have line of effect.
Yes, that's kind of what I was assuming. And
so the boss managed to dodge out of the way of all of it. The underling, though, is going to take full damage. And do you still have one action left?
I'm going to cast a shield on myself, of course.
Oh, and I just missed. We also got another viewer giving a hero point. So Dezi, you're getting another one. Dezi, you're up.
Well, now that I know this is a box fight, I'm going to stride towards where I saw that other guy run to on the other side. And I will attempt to shove the boxes in that direction towards him.
Give me your athletics roll. It's a little bit tougher for you than it looked for Daegron. Daegron made it look effortless, but you managed to knock them over. Roll me the 2d6 plus 5. You had a hard time pushing them over, but maybe because of that, he was laughing, thinking you wouldn't pull it off. But you got a critical on him with that. He's Are there rules for being knocked prone when that critical fails? No.
And then my last action is the areas that have been knocked over difficult terrain still, I'm
Yes.
guessing?
Difficult terrain, but no longer blocking. Don't have to scramble over them.
So I can get to there, I think.
Sure.
So a lot of people on that one. Sorry. That was
Okay, up next is the one who just got wrecked by Daegron and Libbiel. Okay, so he's going to move up to Daegron and is going to try to hit you with a short sword, I believe. Really all they have. Miss and tries again.
Ooh, I won.
And that's his turn. Up next is the one who had been dunked on by Dezi and took a lot of damage and was trying to hope to goad you into a second attack, and that didn't work. So he's going to move up next to Vanarel and try to stab Vanarel. Actually, no, he's not. Never mind. 5, 10, 15, 25. Gets to the flanking on Daegron.
Oh, sorry.
That's much better for him. He hits Daegron. Gets you right in the kidney there. And tries a second one.
Points.
And misses. Vanarel.
Okay. Well, my guy ran over here, the other side of those boxes, but Daegron suddenly got a couple flanking him, so I will join. I'm going to take a single shot at this guy here. He is not my hunted prey. Take a swing at him anyway. Hopefully I will still clock him in the back of the head.
That will hit. He took some damage. He is still up. I think you have one action left, right?
I do, so I will take a swing with the other. I had hoped somehow that would be one and done, but I guess not.
And that one will miss.
All right.
Krosavan is up next. He had the boxes turned against him. He is going to stride up to Dezi, who he has flanking on, and he will target Dezi with his short sword. He will crit Dezi with a 29. For 38 points of damage.
Yeah, I'm unconscious again, so.
Dying 2, huh? Okay. Your initiative moves to right before his. He has one action left. He's going to move away behind some more boxes again. Actually, no. He's realized that you know how to push them over on him. That doesn't actually make sense. He's going to move behind one of his chumps, going the long way around there. I think he can get to that square. Cheerful one. If he pushes those over, he hits all of his own allies. He is not going to do that. He is going to scramble over these. It's difficult terrain, so that's a full move. Second move, closes the door.
Oh,
Daegron.
rude.
Okay, Daegron, seeing Dezi go down, lets out a roar and swings back behind him. He's going to go for the weakened one they've got a flank on.
Okay, so you're
So he
attacking
swings
this
down
one
to
to the
the southern
south.
one?
Yep, that is a hit for 13 damage. That one is defeated.
Okay, and then he is going to, as that happens and the other one dies behind him, he lets out another roar. He's going to do an intimidation check for demoralize on the one in front of him. Oh, we were on the 18 and it
That is
rolled
a
back.
failure. Yep, you have one action
And then
left.
he'll, with sweep, he swings on the second one here.
And that
Ooh,
is a miss.
oh, good.
And I'm moving the corpse out of the way just so it's easier to tell.
Yep.
So that don't worry about why it moved. That's not saying it's undead or anything weird like that.
It's
Libbiel.
alive.
So Libbiel is going to step forward and open the door again. Oh, shit! I thought you might have gotten away. He's going to bop this this person with her staff. And yeah. Oh, I'm going to just keep that critical miss.
Libbiel does not often bop things with the staff, and this is probably why. That was your 3 actions, correct?
Yes.
So up next is the one here. Just saw one of his allies get defeated. I don't know if he's seen an AOO from Daegron, a reactive strike, but
Not yet.
he is at least trained enough to respect martial-looking people. He's going to at least attack you once. No, he's going to step, stride, and push over some boxes on you. Give me a reflex save.
Okay.
You're taking full damage. 9 points. That was his turn. Vanarel.
Okay. Looks like all the instincts are kicking in. I think we're gonna see the other thing I grabbed when I leveled up. Just dropping the light hammer to free up one of his hands, and we're going just to, in one swift motion, kind of like kneel down, reach for the healers. Got myself battle medicine. So
Okay.
we're gonna try and get Dezi. Probably feeling a little dizzy with all the blood loss. Try to get Dezi back up on his feet. There. I'm only trained, so that is a
Yep,
success.
that's a success. Give me the 2d8. 6 points back to Dezi.
Quickly stuffing Dezi full of gauze.
Oh, oh, not again.
And Vanarel, I think you
yeah.
have 1 action left still. 2 actions. Yeah,
I have 2 actions.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was just drop and administer. Yep.
Yep. And then with my second action, I'm going to pick the light hammer back up. Then, looking at my old friend over here, I am going to throw it directly at his face.
Thrown 10 feet, I think. Or is it
20.
20? 20. So he's in range. Perfect.
Yep.
That is a hit.
All right. Let me just bean him off the head really quick here.
Okay. That was your
That's my
3. Dezi, you are prone. You are wounded 1.
Thanks, Vanarel. I needed that. I'll start by standing up. Got 2 actions left. Let's. You know what? Honestly, I'm gonna cast a 2 action myself.
Yeah. Put yourself back together.
You can move on. I'm
Okay,
applying the
yep.
healing.
So he is up next. I don't see a way for him. He's going to step to here. He is going to try to feint. Roll a deception check against you. So he does successfully feint you with a natural 20, so you will be off guard to this attack. And then he tries to strike you once. He hits you. And you're no longer off guard. That was his turn. One of them, the cheerful one apparently, who's I think the one cackling over by Libbiel, will try 1 attack against Libbiel. Hits
I'd be surprised if it didn't.
for 9 points of damage. Tries a second attack. Hits again for 6 points of damage and closes the door again.
Rude.
It is now Daegron's turn.
All right. So started Daegron's turn. He's going to activate his dueling parry for this turn or this round, and then he will Question is, does he swing away or does he go for a demoralize here? I think him connecting with hits is going to be more important here. With the did Bless go down when you dropped?
No,
No,
it's
it's
not. It's
Okay,
it has a, as long as Desi's not killed, it would last through its full duration.
sounds good. Well, let's just start with one, and we'll see about maybe a maneuver or moving afterwards. So he swings overhand at the guy here. Oh, 21 and still a miss. Okay, let's see. For his last action, he's just going to try to help Vanarel get going, so he will do the demoralize, even though it doesn't have the greatest chance here. So with an intimidation check on him, that is +7, natural 1. Oh, this is the comeuppance for all those crits in in the
Yep.
past.
Libbiel.
Libbiel this time is going to work a little smarter. She's going to have Bia, using Independent, open the door for her. And she's
Okay.
going to cast a different spell on this little person. Have some Force Barrage. She's going to cast with all of her actions.
So you've applied the 2, the 3, and the 4. The hopeful one. Well, I guess he's going to be really hopeful with this. It's either a bad idea or a horrible idea. So that's 10 feet, 20 feet, 25 feet, steps into the flank, and will attack Daegron.
So that'll be a reactive strike, or that was a step.
That was a step at the end there. He does hit you
Ooh,
for 13 damage.
I am at 1.
That was his whole turn.
Perfect.
Vanarel.
I can get him, Vanarel, if you want to take that one.
You got this guy in front of us?
No, I have Daegron.
Oh, okay, good. Like,
That would have been hilarious.
yeah. Okay, yeah, I will. So I'll see how well he enjoys this Warhammer up close. I guess he probably enjoys it a lot.
Yeah, he sways very gently to the side, and it just swings right past him.
Instinctively raising up his empty hand, where he does not have a light hammer in the other one. So we just glare at this guy, and we'll go for a second swing. No, I'm way off balance.
Not used to only having one weapon in hand, not used to your body.
How do people do it? Yeah, I'll try to swing it a third time.
Okay.
Woof.
3 misses. Dezi.
Well, 2 action heal is definitely happening on Daegron. Particularly loud prayer to the open roads in hopes that our luck will turn around for us, given all our planning. Not so much with the heal.
You have 1 action.
Yeah, my last action is going to be to shove the guy to my left. Try to get him out of the way, at least, so the other guy won't have a flank.
Sounds like a plan. And do you want to follow with the shove?
No.
Okay. He is up next. He's gonna smirk at Daegron, and he has to stride into the difficult terrain.
Let's hope for some better luck. There we go.
He thinks he's playing with you now, but you hit him.
At least it's a hit. Pretty good damage roll, 16 points of damage.
Yep. Now he's going to attack you, though.
This ain't good for him.
Now that he got his flank back. And miss. Your hit
Ooh.
seems to have rattled his confidence a little, and he's looking a little worried now suddenly that this thing might be changing in your favor. He does swing a second time, though, and he does get a hit.
At least it's reduced down from a crit. That's all I
But
care.
it's high damage still. That might still drop you.
That's going to drop me. But at least we're not to dying too.
Libby, maybe get in here?
I have a problem.
Well, walk by him.
The cheerful one, who seems to be enjoying this door play here, the rest of the group might be yelling at him to stop bothering with that little girl over there and come help us. But he's just gonna swing at Libby again. He will hit.
Come on, Libby. Can you not get hit for once?
He is then going to close the door, and he is going to stride away, as he was ordered to come help. Libbiel, your turn.
Open the door again, but with Mia, because Mia can take it. I'm going to give my dear friend, the cheerful one, a parting gust of wind for our time together.
That's going to be a fail. So on a fail, it is knocked prone, it looks like, right?
Knocked prone. Yes.
No damage. The damage looks like it's only on a crit fail, right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem. You still have one action yourself left.
I'm going to give 2 actions to Bia and have Bia heal me with
You
the...
can't. If they take independent, they can't gain additional actions.
They can't? Okay.
If you wanted to instead this round have commanded and not used independent, if the healing is a one action thing, I would still allow that.
Okay, it is a 1 action thing.
Okay,
It
so
is
the one
called
action open the door, one action use this. That's using one of yours to command it and not taking advantage of independent this round. I will allow that.
Yeah. It has a 1 action heal called Medic. Just a normal heal spell.
Yeah, I will study up on the full rules, but that's fine for me today. So we will move on to the helpful one. The helpful one does not have flanking on anyone and wants flanking and can't get flanking on anyone. It is going to step to here and ready an attack on Vanarel when he has a flank. Vanarel.
All right. Well, joke's on him. I'm going to clobber him with a hammer before he gets a chance to do that.
If you want to step for flank, feel free.
Actually, I was going to step up to that anyway, so I may as well do that ahead of time. Yes. We'll step to there. Still have him targeted from last time, and try to clock him. Not that it worked real well last time.
That will crit him this time.
I think I figured it out this time, though. Go to sleep.
You have one action left.
Okay. I still have a hand free because I haven't had a chance to go over and pick up my other hammer. I'm going to battle medicine Daegron.
That is not a success.
Let me use my hero point on that.
That is a success.
That'll do it. All right. So once again, just quickly, it's just shoving massive amounts of gauze into the worst of Daegron's wounds. Get you 5.
Appreciate it.
Dezi.
I will stride. Yeah, I'm going to stride behind Vanarel open. I will then 2 action heal Dig.
I'll advance to Daegron while we get that figured out. Oh my. So Daegron, you're prone. You've dropped your weapon. What are you doing?
Okay. Seeing where this guy is, and as he kind of comes back to consciousness, he grabs hold of his axe, stands, and then seeing that the man is in terrain here where he can't move very great, he's just going to step down
I don't
towards
recommend
this
going
one.
right next to where he can get flank on you with his ally. Just saying. It's
Well, yeah. So, well, I can keep moving. But
okay.
I'm gonna go here, and
That
then
makes
he positions himself if this one stands up, and this way he'll have take off his thing, has his weapon,
Yep, you took off prone. You still have everything else that looks correct. Got it.
and that's all 3.
Oh, also, we didn't handle this. Do you remember how much you took from the chamber pots? Oh, you've been dropped since then. Never mind. We can't retcon that because your Aeon Stone would have fixed some of that damage before this fight started, and we forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
We'll need to remember that in the future when you have time between things. You're going to heal up pretty fast on your own, but we missed that. I don't think it would have changed what happened here, but we should pay attention to that next time.
Yeah.
Up next. He's up next. What is he going to do here? Step to here. He's going to try to feint against Vanarel. What is your perception DC? Oh, never mind. He makes himself flat-footed, I believe, on a crit fail for feint. Let me double check that. I haven't had to do that too often.
Psychs himself out.
Critical fail. Yes, he is against melee strikes. He is flat-footed. And he will still try to strike Vanarel once with that, but he does not get any of his bonuses now. But he rolls high and crits you.
Yep. All right.
Minimum damage.
Still a big chunk.
The cheerful one tries to stand up.
and gets a reactive strike on top of the head.
Which will hit.
Not great damage. 12.
He's not looking too happy, though. He's going to... He knows you probably can't do that a second time. He can't move against the wind either. So he can't charge back, attack Libbiel.
Or provide flanking.
Yep. He's going to move to here and then throw a dagger at Daegron. Libbiel.
Okay, so that's this effect ends. Libbiel is going to cast a sleep spell, centered. Well, casting it so that it only hits our friend here.
Okay. He has a critical success, so he is fine.
Yeah, I was incapacitated, so I think the success.
Yep. It was a rank 1 spell against a higher than rank 2 creature. 1 action left, Libbiel.
Libbiel, so at least try to keep them from making flankings.
Vanarel.
All right. Well, my friend is back. I don't have both hammers, but I can still clobber him a bunch because, man, he hurts when he stabs. So yeah, I will start battering him.
That will miss.
Second shot. Would love to hurt him a little bit.
That will hit.
Oh, well, all right. We'll get him a little bit.
Very solid hit there.
And this third, yeah, I'm just gonna go for the gold. Try to put him down with one last desperate swing, which will not.
That will miss.
Okay.
Dezi.
Overextended myself.
I think Desi is going to move a little bit further away. This seems fine. I will.
You don't need to heal Libby.
I'm going to heal. I'm going to get Daegron for now. You're all looking bad. Daegron's going to go, and I don't want.
Ooh, very appreciated.
Nice.
Okay, and Daegron, it is your turn.
Okay, so can he get to a flank in 1 move action?
Yeah, you can get there.
Okay, and as he comes around behind, he's
Of course,
going to...
remember, you don't need the flank because he is off guard because of his
Oh,
failed.
true.
So
okay, yeah, he'll stay down here.
But I guess you can't stay
of...
inside the bless, so it doesn't make it that big a difference.
Yeah, because they're... Yeah, it doesn't matter either way. Right?
Sorry. Didn't think about it.
Don't worry. So he's going to stay closer to Vanarel to give him a little more cover, and he'll swing with the next splitter.
That will hit.
12 more.
That takes him out.
Okay, and then he turns towards the last one and lets out a roar as he has no way to get to him. He'll go for a demoralize. For a 25.
Okay, that one is frightened 1. And it's that one's turn. He goes running through the complex. You hear a door open on the far side of the complex. You hear the waves louder. Libbiel.
Okay. Can I see?
You can see him slightly. I mean, there's boxes in the way. He would have cover, but you can see him.
Would be that line of sight enough for a
I will allow it.
light wire
Sure.
attack?
It does look like he's going to jump in the water next turn, but you hit him. So I think you probably can kill at this point.
Are you kidding?
He has 1 HP. Vanarel.
I'm going to go square one and retrieve my other hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will, with my with my third action, I'll start charging down here.
Okay.
I know we heard a door, but I'm not sure if he's gonna like kind of sneak around the corner or whatever. So I'll try to like make sure he doesn't know where to go.
Dezi.
Why are they all running off, Daegron? I thought we got him. I'll walk over to Daegron and just... I mean, I want to kind of make sure we are all safe and patch us up. I can see at least Libbiel from here. So I don't know where. Guys, back here.
Okay.
There's one left.
Daegron?
I think he would look around and go, I don't think I'll be able to get to anyone if they're getting away, but I'll take a look. And he'll go looking around here. So what is that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Get him there because he can't do the double diagonal. I guess, would he have line of sight on him from there?
Not great. I mean, it's all
Okay.
the crates in the way.
Yeah, this will be not great anyway. So one move action, he pulls the hatchet and he's gonna lob it over the box. Oops, not shut the door on him.
Yep.
That would be real neat if I could do that. So that is, let's check our distance here, 45. So I believe that what's third range increment. So what?
It should take care of that automatically. Foundry is good about
Okay.
that, so we'll double check
Let's
though.
do the throw here.
I see the range penalty, and that's a hit.
Yep.
Even if I give him 2 points of cover, which is what I was going to give him, that's exactly a hit, and you do defeat him.
It just goes arcing up and over the boxes, and then you just hear like kind of a wet thud from the other side.
And we are
Did I
out
get him?
of combat. No one is down or dying. We don't need to deal with that. And we will deal with looting these bodies and follow up next session. We are right at our time.